Hello, welcome to the latest video, yellow hair video. This one is about our scones. A lot of people have asked for the recipe for the scones that we provide in the shop, and I haven't been able to give this recipe out, although a lot of our recipes are on the website at Yellow Hair, but I can't do this recipe. I've realised I can't actually translate this into written form. I've thought about it, and so the only way I think I can do this is to show you, because what happens, as with lots of recipes that people do, there's a bit of this added, a bit of that added, it's not quite, the consistency is not quite right, and you really learn through texture and feel when something's ready, when it's just right. So that's what I'm going to do with my scones in this video, and just talk you through how I do mine, which isn't necessarily the best way. Lots of people have offered me advice and recipes over the years, none of which have worked for me. The latest one, which I'm going to give credit for now, is Ross McLellan. He used to supply scones for our shop on Tyree, and they were lovely. A lot of people commented on them, and he was kind enough to show me his recipe. Now, I tried replicating this and it didn't really work for me. I did try, and I don't know whether I was doing something wrong, but it just didn't come out the way that Ross did them. And so this recipe is not Ross's, it's mine, but it's a tweak. It's just tweaked in different ways. So, as you'll find out as we go on. So I'm literally going to do the recipe now, and we'll see how it turns out, and hopefully it'll do what it's supposed to. So I start with 450 grams of flour, which is quite standard for scones. It's a bag of flour, pound of flour, and it's self-raising flour. And then I add to this 95 grams of butter. I use unsalted butter, so I'll just do that now here. It should take 15 minutes from start to finish to do your scones. 12 minutes in the oven, 3 minutes to do this, but I'm going to take longer obviously because I'm talking. So that's actually 95 in there, and this is the thing, you can, a bit more here, a bit more there, it's not going to make a huge difference. So that's 95 grams of butter, sugar, which some people might be horrified to learn. Some people only put like 70 or 80 grams of sugar in. I put 125 grams. And really that's the key to my success. I just get people addicted to sugar. So here we go, it's 101, there we go, that's 125. I'm using digital scales, which I don't recommend if you're not used to scales, because once they switch off, which they do if you don't keep your eye on them, they will turn off after a moment, and then you've lost the weight that you've just calculated. So that's the flour, the sugar and the butter. I then add 2 healthy teaspoons of baking powder. This makes 9 scones, thereabouts, but you'll see this as we get to this. So that's 2 spoons of baking powder. All the ingredients are at the beginning or at the end. I'm not sure where I'll put them on the video, but they'll be somewhere. Having done that, you'll notice I'm doing mine in a blender. A lot of people do them by hand. I put mine in a blender. It reduces the contact with my hands, which I then contradict later by using a lot of hand contact, but you'll see that in a minute. So I'll just swing this over, or bring this over here actually, and I'll show you what I would do here, which is simply reach over and get my lid. So I just pulse. Okay, that's as much as I do, 30 seconds or so. I'm going to raise this up a little bit till you see the next bit without my ugly mug getting in the way here. Sorry, this is very amateurish. Okay, so then what I then add is almost half a pint, not quite half a pint, of buttermilk and 2 large eggs. I put them in a jug, mix them all up like this. And then add this while pulsing the machine, so that add it to the top. Yeah. Now I've just poured that in the top. I'm sorry you can't see that, but I've just poured it in the top. And I'm going to whiz it round just gently until it all sort of collects. It'll collect into a sort of bundle. There you are, can you see that? Now it's quite wet at this point. And if I take the lid off. Okay, sorry, so I've just altered the camera so that you can see the top there. This is really spongy and wet. It's too wet at the minute. So I'm just going to add a little bit more flour. But I say a little bit, I don't know what you would call a little bit, but it's probably, I don't know what it is in grammage, but it's just enough to create a bit more, just to dry it up a little bit, but not too much. That's right again. There. When it's like that, that's ready for me to tip it out. I will then add more flour. So if I just move all of this out of the way. I might be able to edit this so you don't hear so much chit chat in the background. So I'm now going to tip this out. There's the inside. It's still quite gloopy, but that's okay. So I gather all that up. Now I'm wearing gloves. Don't need to wear gloves. Really, you don't need to. But that also reduces the hand contact a little bit. I don't wear gloves all the time. And it really doesn't make a big difference. And this is where I feel this really doesn't make a massive difference. Where people say about, I was always told scones, avoid contact, avoid touching them, and that was what led me to start using the mixer, because I couldn't get the consistency without touching them a lot, and so I thought I'll try doing it in the mixer. However, having done the mix, that's probably helped using it in the mixer, but I do lots of contact. There's lots of contact here, so I do knead it like this. Just knead it like that, and then what you do is you pick it up while it's quite soft, bouncy. It's more springy than anything, and then you're just rolling it into a ball under your hand like this, smoothing out your flour area, and then patting it out. Flour, and then pat. And I know there'll be lots of people watching this going, for goodness sake, don't do this, don't do that way. I don't know. This is how I do it. It works for me. And hopefully it'll work for you if you want to try it. I'm going to just flour my, this is the tray that I use to, just out a Lakeland tray, but just to put the scones on. So I flour that. Now this is a key thing, this next bit is a key thing. This is the cookie cutter that I use. I use an extra large one because I like large scones. But once you've patted it out, it goes out to about, what would you say that was? Almost an inch thick, maybe a bit more, some cases a bit more. Once you do that, sprinkle flour over it. And there's a reason for this. And that is, this will cut cleaner if there's flour, because you're going to keep cutting. Push in, do not twist, lift up, take it out. If you twist it, they'll go wonky. Push down, do not twist. Oh, that one's broken. Okay, I'm going to leave that one aside. Typical. So they don't usually break like this, but this is just, next one. So on there, next one. On the tray, the one in the middle, which will have a one there, another one there, and I'm going to remold these bits And this is the bit where before, when I used to do them, I used to think, no, you can't do that because that's, no, that's not good. Oh, you can't do that. You can. It wouldn't make any difference. It should not make any difference to your last scone. Just keep remoulding until you get that nice, smooth, domed top. And then pat it out again, quite thick. Pat it rather than roll it, I would say. Sprinkle over the top. Get your cutter again. This end, 1, this end, 2. You see they're quite thick, but they're also quite uniform. This is going to be a small scone, but I'll do it anyway. Just because I don't like to waste the pastry. So, haven't done a video for ages. 2 years since lockdown actually. It's not the best memory, but it's not the worst either. There we go. Now, there's my tray of scones. I'm about to go in the oven, which is set at 200 degrees on a fan, which means if you're not using a fan, it should probably be 210 or 12. 210 or 12 degrees. Now I'm going to be interested to see how this one turns out because this is the broken one. We'll pop them in this oven. Rather crucially, another thing that I do, which is similar to using, you know, going a curveball, going off-piste with this rather than using a bowl. My oven is a small top grill, and this really transformed how the scones came out when I started using it. They have been flawless every time. This is probably going to prove me wrong. This will be the one time they've not. But they've always come out perfectly since I started using this smaller fan oven. It doesn't need to be a fan oven. I think it's just the size that makes the difference. If it's a small oven with a, you know, the air, less area for the air to circulate, seems to make better scones. So I'm going to pop them in the oven for 12 minutes. I'll put the timer on. Okay, so just to show you, that's the timer counting down. There's the temperature. I'm so sorry about the knobs. I've got flour and all sorts of things on them. Sorry. I'm going to open this when the beeper goes. The beeper's going to go any second now. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. I'm just going to take them straight out. Oh, that didn't do too well. Hot, hot, hot. There we go. And there's that one that was broken. But the rest, as you can see, pretty damn fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to let them cool just a little bit and then open one up for you and put some butter in it. Voila. And so here we are. Here are the scones, all slightly cooler than they were a couple of minutes ago. So I'm just going to take one, random one, and I'll take the one that's looking dodgiest, you know, the one that hasn't properly sealed, sort of formed in the way that the others did. This one, that happens a lot, and it's fine, you know, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Oh, look at, I don't know if you can see that, but there's smoke coming from, steaming from the scone. Look at that. And there you have it. Perfect. Well risen, soft, delicious scones. Every time. Small oven, mixer, possibly the buttermilk. I'm not sure. Is there a secret? I don't know. Do try it and see how you go on. Good luck. Thank you. Bye.